Good morning. Welcome to JP's morning brief for July 8th, 2026. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the broadcast. Busy night. Busy. Just chatting online with Covite for Life for a little bit. Like I always tell you, you can get involved in the chat. You don't have to talk to me. You can talk to people that's on there. Enjoy yourself. All right. And then don't forget, as we're talking about it anyway, you click, you see that little bell where right beside it says JPA report. See that little bell, click it, scroll down, click the word follow, and you'll be a follower of the JPA report. That would be awesome. I would love that. And then don't forget to give me a like for the episode itself, all right? But thank y'all very much for tuning in. So last night I was at a city council meeting. Ever since I came off the CTC Board of Trustees, I've been hanging out at city council meetings because what happens in our city is important, right? And last night was no different because I'll show you the headline on the paper. You see that? Pride Month proclamation at council meetings. So usually you get, when they do citizens forum, or the way you're supposed to do it, you get to talk about agenda items and non-agenda items here in Copperas Cove. Each speaker gets 5 minutes to speak, and no more than 30 minutes of time is allotted for citizens forum. Well, if I would have, let me put the picture back up here. That's not normal. That is a whole lot of people in there that want to speak on a Pride Month proclamation. So last month, 3 weeks ago, was the last city council meeting, I believe it was. The only Democrat on the entire city council proposed that we, after the citizens forum from 3 weeks ago, they were talking about a Pride Month proclamation, and they were upset because the mayor didn't cut one, right? Or the city, they said the city didn't cut one. So at the end of the city council meeting, that said city council person said, I would like to make it a future agenda item where we want to talk about this Pride Month proclamation. And then two members of the city council said, we'll discuss it. Okay. And so they supported them just to discuss it, not to say they supported it, right? Fast forward to last night. City council chambers were packed. Normally you could throw a rock through the city council chambers and not hit a single person during a city council meeting. But last night it was standing room only, right? And then not only did they give us the 30 minutes to speak, the mayor suspended the rules and allowed them to speak for 15 or 20 more minutes. There were about 9 people that spoke. One person spoke about his house because it had flooding issues caused by drainage in the streets. He actually apologized because he interrupted all their speaking time, but he said my problem is very important, and he spoke, which is his right, which is what it's meant for, right? And I heard everything under the sun about why they should have a Pride Month, except for we should be doing the business of taking care of our city. They had just had a workshop in the city where this knucklehead of a person gave a spill on how the city could spend $47 million on a sports complex, which there's no space at all inside of Copperas Cove set for said sports facility. but we would rather talk about other things. In mind, we have another. That was during the workshop. During the city council meeting itself, after everything took place. Well, before I get to that, well, I'll talk about it real quick. We have this nonprofit in the city that they're renting a building from the city for $10 a year plus maintenance. $10 a year. And and some of the city council members told me it was fair. I'm like, how is that fair? I talk about this one guy all the time. I call him Taco Guy because he has a Facebook place site called Tacos. I mean, he's all right guy. He's conservative, but he talks about how he has to replace his ESUs, his his air conditioners, right? Um, um, because his landlord won't replace them. He has to fix the plumbing because his landlord won't fix them. He fixes everything, remodels, does this and that because it's a part of being a business owner, renting a building. You have to keep up with the upkeep. It's part of the contract, right? So why is the city renting a building to an organization, a nonprofit, for $10 a year? But we would rather focus all of our time on a Pride Month proclamation where, for what? For what? What? You tell me why, and I'm way off course now. Why are we supposed to kowtow to to a group of people? What are they given? I mean, there's proclamation, and proclamations come from the mayor, not from the city council, only from the mayor. It's his discretion, totally. It's not even for the last night. They rearranged the city council where they put H5 agenda item H5 to the front to talk about this. So they let the Democrat member of the council say his little spiel, which was about a minute, and then turned back to the mayor. Mayor said, "I got prepared remarks," and he told him it is his discretion on what he does, and there was no need for this proclamation at all. And he said, "My answer is no. There will not be a proclamation next year for LGBT at all." End of discussion. And then he looked at does anyone else in the council want to say anything? And one of my friends, he's on the council. He made a statement where, well, I agree with you, Mayor, totally, but I would like to see this. How about there be developed a policy letter? He's an Army just like me. A policy letter dictating what proclamations are and how to qualify for them and the reasons for them. Good point. But going back to what I'm saying, so the case was closed. We have the mayor does proclamations for police officers, for telecommunicators from the dispatch office, for jailers, for Lemonade Day, right? For the Cove House, for first responders, for everything. But why should we have one for LGBT? And they pushed it. They left. They went outside, and one of my friends that was leaving because they had to get home too said they went outside, and there's LGBT people that were very closely affiliated with the Democrat Party of Coryell County was outside the city council chambers attempting to register people to vote so they could vote in the upcoming city council elections. I mean, that is their right. That is their right. Now, are they registering people knowing that they're Democrat or Republican? Because that's against the law. Because I'm a DVR, okay? That's the deputy voter registrar, And when I go out and register people to vote, I can't legally ask, are you Democrat or are you Republican? The only thing I can ask is, you meet the legal prerequisites of voting, and give me it. And I have 5 days to turn it in to the tax assessor collector up in Gatesville. I can't that's a Democrat. I can't do that. I will be in a whole heaps of trouble if I did something like that. So that's how last night went. And I got it on tape. I got the whole Citizens Forum on tape, and I got the H5 agenda item on tape, and I got to merge the two, and I'm going to put it out on a podcast so everybody can watch this. Okay, it's important to remember. We wasted 45 minutes of our life last night talking about this, when they could have been talking about $10 a year lease on a building that's going to that goes all the way through 2038. We got drainage problems in our city. We have street problems in our city. We got a budget coming up. And they got to figure out how to balance it. But we're talking about a Pride Month, which is in the past, a Pride Month proclamation. For what? For what? So that's why it's important to go to city council meetings, people. You should always be there. Not like when I go. Where I go, like I said, you can skip a rock through the city council chambers and not hit nobody until last night. And I guarantee you, 2 weeks from now, I can skip a rock and not hit nobody, because it's going to happen again. All right? So let's go. Armament shop. All right. So whether you're looking for your first firearm, upgrading your setup, or need expert service, Jason at the Armament Shop is Copper Cove's premier source for all things shooting. Browse our wide selection of pistols, rifles, and shotguns, backed by top-tier gunsmithing for repairs, along with reloading supplies and professional cleaning to keep your firearm in peak condition. Need a transfer? We make FFL transfers fast, easy, and affordable. Need your CHL? Jason can handle those classes both online and in person. He has over 3 decades of experience. Visits Armament Shop today at 115A West Avenue D in Coppers Cove, or call or text 254-560-2023, or visit them at www.armamentshop.com. That's www.armamentshop.com. And Armament Shop, your safety, our priority. All right. So, that being said, I just worked off almost 15 minutes of our podcast talking about LBGT. There we go again. That's a whole hour of my life I'm not going to get back, because I keep talking about these people. All right. All right, the Iran update. Trump approved the airstrikes against Iran yesterday while in Turkey. The U.S. hit 88 sites, coastal surveillance, surface-to-air missile sites, anti-ship missiles locations, and drone sites. Qatar and Saudi Arabia were hit by Iran missiles the day prior to that. One was a liquid natural gas ship. And then oil sanctions are back in place. The price of oil is up like 6% this morning. I'm glad I got gas when I needed to. 80 plus targets were hit inside of Iran. I would say the IRGC is the main problem of the whole thing. Iran's deputy foreign minister accused the U.S. of violating the memorandum of understanding. Bahrain and Saudi Arabia both condemn Iran for the attacks inside the Persian Gulf. And Ali Khamenei's body was flown to Iraq for more funerals, and will be flown back to to Iran for the conclusion of their funeral procession tomorrow. All right. The Dow Jones closed down 130.76 points. It was closed at 52,925.15. My guess today, the Dow Jones is going to be down, I would say, about 750 points due to everything that happened in Iran yesterday. All right. Stock market opens up in 2 hours. We'll see. West Texas Intermediate, $74.99. That's after almost 2 weeks under 70. And then Brent crude oil is at $78.83 a barrel. All right. That's how geopolitical politics works in conjunction of petrodollars. That causes that stuff to spike. All right. So announcements wise, we have Pints and Politics at the All Good in Cedar Park at 601 East Whitestone Boulevard on tomorrow at 6 p.m. And then we have next Tuesday on the 14th of July, we have the Coppers Cove Conservative Club at Giovanni's at 6 p.m. All Republicans are invited. It is really important that we get Republicans participating, all right? And I helped form this group right here. And then on the 16th of July, we have Pints and Politics in Killeen at Area 254. That's in the old Kmart shopping center off 400 Street. Look for the Raising Cane sign for the shopping center. You go inside Area 254, take a right, go to the stairs, and go upstairs into the upper room. All right. And then on the 20th of July, we have Smoking Hot Conservatives. That is at the Leaf Affair, located at 4110 South Clear Creek Road in Killeen. It's a cigar shop. That's where cigar smokers and conservatives hang out together and talk about politics, smoke cigars. All right. And then the final thing I wanted to bring up is on the 25th of July, we have Coryell County Republican women talking about the geopolitical implications in the greater context of the Red-Green Access by Dr. Mark Fulmer, and that's at 11 a.m. at 1802 West, at 1802 Martin Luther King. That's at Trinity Worship Center at 11 a.m. That's a new time for them. All right, I'm back. So, yesterday, the U.S. struck over 80 targets all along the Strait of Hormuz. The United States Central Command, or CENTCOM, Tuesday night said that they successfully struck over 80 targets with precision munitions after Tehran targeted 3 vessels in the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. said Iran strikes were on commercial vessels that were transiting the strait, which the crew by innocent civilians and international roadways. Reports indicate the ships were from Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. CENTCOM said the latest round of offensive strikes against Iran struck Iranian air defense, command and control, coastal radar, anti-ship capabilities, and more than 60 Islamic RGC small boats. Sooner or later, they're going to run out of boats. So what I was hearing this morning was that the reason why Iran struck these vessels in the Strait of Hormuz is because they insisted on using the route closest to Oman, because there's like 2 main routes you can go through the Strait of Hormuz. You got the Iranian route and you got the Oman route, right? These vessels were using the prescribed route that Oman had put out for free transitioning of transiting of the Strait of Hormuz. Iran didn't like it and attacked them. All right, or I would say the IRGC attacked them because I believe personally that the IRGC is the main problem in Iran. It's that power pride problem, and they don't want to give it up. All right. The president this morning said he doesn't trust them anymore. He doesn't like them anymore. They don't negotiate in good faith. They lie. The president is not the person you want to mess with on this. And I do fully believe and I think I heard it right that they were saying that the ceasefire is technically over with. Okay. I'm telling you, Iran, you're poke the bear. Okay. And when you poke the bear, you get the bear. All right. All right. So we're more than halfway through this. Don't forget to hit the like button, please. Okay. And then follow button if you want. All right. So we're still on Iran. So the U.S. is clawing back oil sanction waivers as part of the Iran offered to Iran as part of the framework to kick off the 2-month negotiating period, which we know they attacked and we re-attacked or retaliated. So they're no longer going to be able to sell oil on the open market. The U.S. confirmed that 3 commercial vessels were struck by Iran in the Strait between Monday and Tuesday, reigniting tensions between President Trump and said the U.S. given Tehran a week off during funeral ceremonies for slain Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. As President Trump and administration fully affirmed, the MOU in effect with Iran is entirely performance-based. Iran will only reap benefits if they exhibit good behavior, the U.S. official said, confirming the Treasury Department Office of Foreign Assets Control would revoke the sanctions waivers. All right? So Iran is going to go broke now, right? Again, because they can't handle their people to they handle the military. That's why we have civilian control over our military. It looks like the military over there thumb their nose at everybody and talks to the spiritual leader, basically saying we got full autonomy. Okay, I can't even pronounce it. They're gonna do what they want, all right, without any repercussions. So as we run out of time here, I got 2 things I'm gonna be able to cover, and then I'm gonna be out of time. All right, hold on just a second. I got to get set up because, like I said, I'm going to run out of time. I'm going to get my raid ready so I don't have to worry about it. I'm going to raid over to Vince at the top of the hour. Okay, I'm all set. All right, so Oyster Boy got caught again. All right, another accusation. Now, I'm going to say this again. I can't stand the guy. Graham Plattner, he can fall off a cliff for all I care. I call him the Oyster Boy because he's an oyster farmer with no money. He's a communist. He's no good. He's a womanizer. He's a drunk. And he disrespected our military and our veterans. He's flat out useless. Still, he's innocent until proven guilty. I say that because another person came out and said, he did the same thing to me, or he did the same thing to me. Yeah, okay, he did, all right? Why didn't you file police charges on him? Instead of going to the press first and then filing charges, you went to the press. You went to the press to get him to drop out of this race, which is political bribery. You're telling him, do this or this is going to happen. Well, he said, I'm sticking around. I think he said he's insisting on choosing his own replacement, and Maine's Democrat Party said, we choose that person. Well, just think about that. Just think what happened 2 years ago this month. What happened? Oh, that's right. Joe Biden dropped out of the presidential race after winning the primary, and the Democrat Party appointed or anointed Kamala Harris to run in his stead. Fast forward 2 years from then. Oh, wait a minute. Graham Plattner won the Democrat primary. Then the Democrat Party says, we're going to choose the replacement without even going through the primary process. Who are we fooling? You know what? The Republicans would go ballistic if we did something like that. Then why should we tolerate the Democrats doing the same exact thing? Because they're pulling the wool over everybody's eyes and making them sound like they're legitimate and that they have the best interests of the country in mind. And they bludgeoned a candidate, which I can't stand in the first place, without giving them due recourse to the legal system, and try to bribe him out of the race, which he won, which we're going to tear him apart in November. But they want to choose their own successor, an unvetted. That's one of the stories I'm not even going to get to today. It's already 6:56. Plattner Swalwell implosions raise question. What's going on with Democrats vetting? Who's vetting these guys? This guy is running for the United States Senate. And he's got legal problems all over the place. All over the place. How? How did he manage that? Right? Embattled U.S. candidate Graham Plattner, Oyster Boy, was hit with a second explosive allegation of sexual impropriety only about 24 hours after he was accused of rape. While a major campaign decision deadline looms, which is the 13th, on Monday, right? A new report published by the Washington Post, the candidate from Maine was accused of removing condoms during sex with his girlfriend Lindsay Leffill, whatever, after she explicitly directed him to wear them. That is rape. That is. Because consent was withdrawn. Why didn't she go to the police at all? Who are we fooling? Who are we fooling? This is crazy stuff, right? It's already 8:58. I don't want to read any more of this. This guy's furious. Wow. Wow. Okay. So is there anything else I want to look at right before I leave? Telerico, or Telefrico here, right? Telefrico here in Texas says, I don't agree with trans, right? And then he does, but he went to a fundraiser just a few days ago for a trans doctor. Yeah, where we keep fooling ourselves on this stuff, right? Senate Democrat candidate James Telefrico is facing questions after fundraising with a female-to-male top surgeon who previously operated on minors shortly after saying he does not support sex change surgeries for children. He lied to us, Texas. He's going to get beat by a minimum of 10 points. All right. So, like I said, I'm out of time. It's already almost 7 o'clock. I will see you in 1 hour on the JPA report. We're going to get more in depth in all this. Maybe I'll get past 3 stories. There's the raid. Raid's been initiated. Raid is confirmed. I will check y'all out in 1 hour. Thank y'all for tuning in. And this is James Pierce. I'll catch you on the flip side. I'm out.